I guess the last time we got together was Thursday after practice, so we had a really heated, great day Saturday together. I think we had about 126 plays and lots of good stuff off of the videotape to coach off of. Intense, back and forth. Was happy with where we were after that date. I don't know if I told you Thursday was a little sloppier than I'd like, but Saturday was clean. And today had another good one. So, 2 padded practices. We'll see what the videotape looks like today, but some good stuff back and forth. I thought today the offense came out strong, then started to fade a little bit. And again, obviously the defense didn't start off as good as I'd like it to be. And again, we'll look at the videotape. Maybe there's good reason. But then defense finished strong at the end. So, questions?
How's the offensive line with the new guys shaping up?
I think pretty good. After 2 days, I was, I look in there and, I feel like we're running the ball better than we did a year ago. Again, is that good for the offense, bad for the defense? I think you really find out when it's live. I think, we've had a total of 18 plays live in 2 days. We had 9 plays on Saturday. We had 9 plays today, this morning. So I think, looking at it that way until it's live, sometimes defense, like today, I think the defense was great. And again, I may have made them a little softer today because I, put on 9 plays of we need to take care of each other better when it's thud. Guys tackling people when it's thud. So, maybe I coached them up too hard, which is good because we got to stay safe. We don't need guys getting tackled and bodies on the ground and losing guys to injury in the spring. So maybe I took a little bit of the edge off of them, I guess. But 2 good days. I'm happy with the O-line so far. We'll find out Saturday scrimmage. We go out in shells on Thursday and get to Acrisure on Saturday, barring that the weather is good. And we get to see what we really have that day. I think when you go live for a whole scrimmage, you get to find out what you have.
Will you have a fully live scrimmage at all?
I'm sorry?
Will you have a fully live scrimmage at all before the spring game?
Saturday, it'll be live the whole time. We'll get 100-plus plays, whatever. It'll be live. Oh, yeah.
What about the defensive end and some of the newcomers impressing you now that you had pads on?
Yeah, the new guys have done a nice job. I mentioned, Maverick has done a nice job. Gracio has had, he's using his hands better than he was in the spring. He's a new guy, but he's not a new guy. So, I've seen some spurts out of him. I really like what I see there. Joey Zielinski's done a nice job. Jaden's done a nice job as well. So all those guys are what we thought they were or more. So I'm happy with really where we are there, and I think that spot is better right now than it was a year ago at this time.
The offensive line, when we talk to those transfer guys, they mention versatility. You feel like you're settling them into certain spots.
Yeah, in the spring for sure. those new guys, you can't give them. I want you to play left tackle, right tackle, and center. So we've got right now Percy at the left tackle right now, Stanley at the left tackle as well. Just letting them get used to it, and we do some rotating as well with the 1s and 2s. And Keith is playing left guard as well. So but we kind of really began to focus on the left side right now, and get some consistency there. Let them get their feet on the ground.
Bear mentioned that there's a bit of an extra intensity in the OL room simply because they were very disappointed in how they as a room performed at the end of last season. So I'm curious if you noticed that extra intensity.
I don't notice it but it's good that he's saying it. Those they take it personal. When they don't protect the quarterback or run the ball like you'd like. I know Coach Darvo's been after them. And again, it's not just their fault. It's running backs, cuts, it's tight ends. But, you want those guys to take accountability. It starts up front with those guys all the time, I think, offensively and defensively. So you want them to take accountability for exactly what's going on up there. And, again, we got to be better across the board. But it's good that it starts there for sure.
One of the guys that seems to have flown under the radar with all the transfers and freshmen coming in the receiver room is Zion Feller. What are some of the things you've noticed about him?
Well, he's grown up a little bit, maybe a lot. I remember, he sits right up there. I remember, first month, he's come a long way that way. And again, I think everybody matures at a different spot, but he's got really good athletic ability. He can make plays. He's had, he's put 4 good practices under his belt. Again, we just got to keep the consistency and doing all the right things, on that field.
Pat, that receiver room is pretty young. Kenny kind of gravitating to teaching some of the younger guys? How do you feel how that group is progressing?
Yeah, I mean, it's young, but it's old. I mean, you got some guys that have played a little bit of football with Blue, Katarius, and Span. So we've got some older guys in there that are new, but they're older. But Kenny is the leader of that group right now, without a question. He's taking control, I think, at this point, and he is coaching them up, and he's vocal. He's leading.
Do you feel like you got what you needed out of the receivers last year in terms of big plays, explosiveness?
I think it would have maybe gotten better had we not had quarterback and O-line issues at the end of the year, but it's never where you want it to be. No. So I'd say we'd like to be more explosive than we were a year ago, Chris.
Eli, I watched today. Eli had a little bit of an emotional outburst today when he was doing the drill. He was running the ball, and he had a duck through that bar thing.
Yeah.
At the end of it, he threw the ball, he screamed and threw the ball against the back fence.
Right.
Has he been showing that kind of passion, that kind of emotion?
Yeah, I don't know what the outburst was. I wish he would not go underneath. He's too tall to be going. Those are for little running backs to go through. He shouldn't be going through that chute, is what we call him. He just probably saw you over there, Jerry, wanted to get excited and show you could throw it through the wall, I guess. I don't know. Eli's he's emotional, and he's intense, and he's got some swag to him. And I think the guys feed off that as well.
Maybe back up to Eli last week. How was Julian grown from this time last year when he first came in?
He's like a big boy. Last year he was a little boy. Last year, there's times he's supposed to go in and he's kind of hanging back, and he knows it. He's night and day from where he was a year ago. I mean, I think that bowl game did wonders for him. We know he played darn well except for that that one pass he threw and missed tackle after that. But he's grown up a lot. We're really happy with what he's done since December.
Does your mad scientist, offense coordinator, have some packages for Duggar?
I think that question was asked last week. I think Amanda was way ahead of you and asked that question last week. You might not have been paying attention. You got ADD like me, but we'll have some. We'll have some packages. Again, Mason's doing well as well. I mean, for a true freshman, he picks things up well. He makes good decisions. He's got a quick release. We're happy with really all three of those guys.
Was Duggar one of those guys, though, that was, they talk about a gamer? Like, did he show you something in that game that he hadn't shown you in practice throughout the fall?
Well, I don't think, it's kind of like, he didn't show it in spring, maybe a little in the fall with limited reps, just because you're, getting the two guys ready, right? So I would say, we didn't see what you saw. And again, you knew he could throw the ball well. You knew, but he's just grown up in the last few weeks, and he had to grow up real quick in that bowl game. And he did a nice job, and we were happy with where he is, and he's still got a ways to go. I mean, he's not there yet.
Yeah, we asked you about the offense last week, but how about your relationship with Cade and guys kind of understanding each other, knowing what each other's thinking? How much has that grown? How would you describe that relationship?
Yeah, I think you add a year onto it. It's just all the videotape that we watched during the winter. All the self-scout. All the looking at who we were, what we did, what we can do better in all phases offensively. I think it just continues to grow. And again, he continues to grow as a coordinator and the leader of our offense. So I think, I think every year is a little bit better. He learns maybe from some of the older guys on the staff, including me, which is great. He's always willing to continue to learn and get better. That's a positive.
With his extension, he could be your OC longer than any other OC you've had. Why is that?
Well, a lot of guys have had extensions, whatever. But we're fortunate to have our entire staff intact. I don't know how often that's happened. Maybe you guys could do a study on that. But to have all 10 assistants, coaches come back and get extensions is a good thing. So everybody got extension.
What's it like in the second year of this offense?
It's great. We are light years ahead right now of where we were last year. So being able to, play with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more swagger, I think we're definitely seeing it right now. All the work that we put in this past year, it's just going to stack and stack until we're able to go out and show it, at our first game.
Narduzzi mentioned that Eli showed some swag out there, some emotions and passion. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, I'm seeing a great leader. I mean, he's the leader of our offense right now, and I think a lot of guys are getting behind him. And being a second year, we know the kind of leader that he is, the kind of player that he is, the kind of man that he is. So we're behind him, and we love what he's doing. And Coach Bell came out and told us that the quarterback is the leader of our offense, and we do what the quarterback says. So we're right there rallying behind Eli with everything he says.
How does he lead?
I think naturally he's a leader by example. I think he does the right thing. He's doing the right thing all the time. And it's been pretty cool to see him kind of come out of his shell a little bit, and he's becoming more vocal now that he again is more confident in the offense, confident with the players, confident with the coaches. So he's leading it by example, but also he's also starting to talk a little bit, which is nice to see.
How does your role change this year with Gavin gone?
Yeah, I mean, obviously being with Gavin last year was really cool, and now that Gavin, is heading into the NFL, I've kind of had to step up as well. So all of these things that we've been talking about with Eli, it's been the same thing with me. I've been able to step up and lead in ways that I knew that I was capable of doing. It's just now it's time for me to step up and lead this team, lead this offense, and most importantly, lead this tight end room.
Is there a little more confidence and swagger with you stepping into that role, or do you kind of keep it over?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was ready for it, honestly. I think, I've been waiting for a year, and I've been preparing and making sure that when my time is come, that I'd be ready. So I think I'm ready. I think it was a pretty smooth transition into that role, and I'm just doing everything that I can to make sure that I'm helping this tight end room and lead in the best way that I can.
What are some of the specific things that you're trying to help out some of the younger guys like Malachi and Max?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are coming along, and they're coming along fast, which is really cool to see. And being able to have a role in that is pretty cool. But everything, man, of just taking care of your stuff outside of the facility, I think is super important. I think we all love football in that tight end room, which is why Coach Bro recruited us. So it's pretty easy. Those guys are making sure that they're doing the right things when they're here, but making sure that we're doing the right things. It's not just I'm a football player here, you're a football player, no matter where you're at, every day of the week, every day of the year. So making sure that we're taking care of our bodies, we're eating right, we're getting enough sleep, we're hydrating, we're doing all those things. I think that's one of the biggest things for young guys, and then as well as just bringing them along here with the offense and things like that.
You saw Julian come in as a true freshman. What did you learn about him in that bowl game, and then how different of just a player is he now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that bowl game really helped his, boost his career to where it is now. Obviously, we all saw him in the bowl game, and he put on a performance, and ultimately we lost. And shoot, that's a tough one that we still look back on, and that hurts us. But I think there was a lot of good that came out of that game, and one of the things was Julian's performance, and Duggar's been leading the twos, and you guys have seen him at QB2, so it's been good to see him grow and mature in that role for sure.
That's you, the tight end as a whole. What do you guys do? What's your job to make sure this offense operates?
We got to be able to do everything, and that's one of the things that Coach Bro looks for in people that he's recruiting is a person who's very physical and dominant in the run game, but can also stretch the field. And I think we're growing in that as a room. I think we have guys in that room who could do a little bit of everything. And I think that you guys have been able to see that in me, and not only me, but it trickles down. And it started with Gavin. Gavin being the first guy here last year, being able to do that, and we all kind of learned from him, and we've been carrying that on.
First year in a new offense, there's going to be some stuff that doesn't maybe develop or evolve as much as the coordinator would like it. Do you get a sense from Cade that he wants to do even more with the tight ends this year, that there's more he can kind of put on your plate?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to put the best guys on the field, and he's going to put us in positions to make plays. And at the tight end position, I think if you can get the tight end the ball, it's challenging for defenses to stop tight ends because they don't really know what we're doing, where we're lining up, and we do so much with the tight end here in our offense, whether it's motions, lining us up, in the backfield, in the wing, out flexed, outside at number one. So there's a lot that we can do, and we're going to continue to work on those things. And Coach Bell definitely is, as we know, an offensive mastermind, and he's got those things ready for our position.
Is some of that stuff available just because the overall knowledge of the offense, not just from your room, but from everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our offense, in order for it to work, everybody's got to know what they're doing. Everybody's got to be on the same page. So knowing that our offense is a lot more comfortable in the scheme, yeah, we're able to do a lot more, not only with the tight end, like you said, but with a lot of other positions. And we're starting to see that even just here after, practices 1 through 3, 1 through 4. So we'll see more of that.
Is there something you learned from last season that you're really taking into this one to, try and improve?
Yeah, I mean, I want to improve in every aspect of the game that I can, and one of the things I guess is other than on the field is off the field. I think being able to see these guys lead last year, we had a lot of great leaders, so being able to kind of learn and learn from them. I think now I'm able to carry that on, and that's something that I've been kind of pushing myself into as this year has been starting.
Jake, you guys go to the stadium on Saturday, first full live opportunity. How big of a step is that? What are you looking for just from teammates with that opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, full live is an awesome opportunity. We get to fly around, have fun, be physical, and that's what we love as tight ends. That's what we love as offense, and we know our defense loves that too. So we're going to fly around. We're going to take care of each other. You know, it's early on in spring ball. We got a long off season ahead of us. We want to make sure that we're staying healthy, but we're going to fly around. We're going to be pros, and we're going to take care of each other. But at the same time, we're going to get some great work in, great tackling work, great live work, and you know, finishing with the defense coming at us full speed. So it's going to be fun.
They brought in a bunch of new defensive ends, but you guys feel like are all back at tackle.
Yeah.
Do you have some continuity in that group in your room right now?
Oh yeah, D tackles. I mean, we're all back. We're all ready. You know, we're excited. I'm excited what we're seeing out so far in spring ball. You know, it's gonna be, I feel, a great year for us inside.
What are some of those things that you're seeing early?
You know, I think we all just have grown our game. You know, we're getting after it now. You know, just even with our footwork, striking, all that. You know, I feel like we've all grown as a group, and we're going to be ready to go.
How was your game, Greg?
Yeah, I feel good right now. You know, I feel pretty quick, stronger, faster. You know, the strength staff gets us right. You know, I'm excited for the year to come.
What have you noticed about some of those new defensive ends that you guys work with?
Oh yeah, you know, I think we got in some great guys we brought in. You know, Joey, J-Mo. Man, I can't even. You know, they're all guys. You know, I feel we're gonna be, you know, right back to it how we were.
Under Charlie Partridge, you guys were, you know, pretty nationally known to get a lot of sacks year in and year out, and it did in 23, but it was back a little bit more last season. What can you say about Coach Tim Dallas and what he's been able to do to get you guys back towards that level?
You know, I love Coach Dallas. You know, he lets us play free. He lets us be aggressive, and you know, he does the amazing job. You know, getting us ready to go make plays.
Someone, how do you take what happened at the end of last year? Is that fuel for you guys? Do you flush it? Like, how does that ending kind of?
You know, I mean,
affect you guys?
for me, you know, I take it as fuel. You know, going on that losing streak sucked. I don't want to do it again. You know, so we got to keep building and come back next year with a bang.
You seeing that from the rest of the group as well?
I am. You know, I think D-line's going to be good this year.
What's the key in your mind for a good D-line? Like, how much communication has to be, familiarity, stuff like that?
You know, as long as we know what we're doing, I think that's all we need. You know, just be on the same page. I think all of us together, you know, a lot of, you know, on the inside especially, we're all coming back. So I think we have great chemistry, you know, with the ends, even with the new guys. You know, I think they're right along with us, you know, with the chemistry. So I think it's going to be a good year.
How does it impact what you do when you have so many playmaking linebackers behind you?
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, to be honest, it's like, you know, it's great. You want playmakers all over the field, and I think we have that. I think it's going to be a special year.
What can you say about just your Whittington and his development so far?
Oh yeah, Brett. He's improved greatly since last year. You know, he got the playbook down now. He's just locked in. You know what I mean? You know, his pass rush is great, run stop's great. He's fast, strong. I think he's gonna be a great player.
Past few months been like for you. How are you feeling at the start of spring camp?
No, I'm feeling great right now. These past few months just been getting more and more comfortable with the offense. You know, getting back healthy, getting ready to go for spring practice, which I'm excited that I'm being able to be a part of. Being out there with those guys, being out there with the new guys, transfers, freshmen, getting familiar with them, comfortable with them, and we're going to be able to go out there and make a lot of plays this season. I'm really excited about it.
You say you're comfortable with the offense. How does that show up on the field?
You know, just being more comfortable with the reads that I'm making, you know, just quicker decisions, getting the ball out on time and on target. You know, when you're more comfortable in the offense, you know, with more time that you spend with Coach Bell, with those guys, you know, just going through the offense, you're able to go out there and make quicker decisions. And that's really big for a quarterback. You got to be able to go out there and make those quick decisions, you know, make the right decision, most importantly. But quicker the decisions are, the faster those guys get the ball in their hands and able to go out there and make some plays with it.
Since
probably a bigger question than you can answer here in just a few minutes, but I mean, what was last season overall like for you? I mean, from the start, all the winning, getting hurt, losing 6 games in a row. I mean, how would you sum that up?
Ups and downs, highs and lows, definitely. It was a great moment when I found out that I was a starting quarterback, and then going through those games, those highs and lows in those games as well. Starting off slow against Cincinnati, and then coming back at the end, winning that game. The ups and downs of the West Virginia game, coming back and winning those games. Then having a great game against UNC. Breaking some records, that was a lot of fun. Then, some adversity hit, and I started getting into injury trouble, stuff like that, and just not being able to be out there with those guys, being able to play with them, and nothing that I could really do out there on the field with them really hurt. But that's part of the game, something that I gotta be able to handle and just push through and look forward to next year.
What did you learn through that?
How do you think that adversity that you had faced last season is going to help you this year?
It's just going to be able to help me handle adversity next year. As football is a game of adversity. There's always going to be problems, something going against you. Good defense, referees, I guess you could say. Being able in adverse environments, playing away, games like that. We're going to West Virginia this year. We're going to have to be able to handle adversity when you're playing in a game like that. I heard they're going to be throwing batteries at me and everything, so I'm looking forward to that. As a quarterback, that's one of the biggest things a quarterback has to be able to do is handle adversity. What I've learned from last year, what I've learned, throughout my career, even in high school, middle school, when I first started playing football, there's adversity around every corner in the game of football, and you got to be able to handle it.
Eli, what have you learned about leadership, and how much do you embrace that role this year?
As a quarterback, you're kind of pushed into a leadership role, whether you like it or not. I feel like my dad and my older brother, the men in my family, have really helped me become the leader that I am today. My dad's always put me in situations where I've had to lead. Growing up, he was a big, strength conditioning coach. Guys like that, he was a guy like that. So I'd have to, most of the times he'd help me or make me help him out. So I'd have to, lead groups. He'd have college kids out there, and I would be, 10, 11, 12 years old, telling them what to do, coaching them, just being able to do that when I was that age, against those guys, just helped me, be comfortable in that leadership role when it came to time to do that.
Watching one drill this morning, you were running the ball and ducked into that bar thing, and you screamed and threw the ball against the back fence. Is that the kind of passion that something they done last year, but you feel more comfortable doing this year?
I definitely did that last year. Y'all just weren't really out there. I was, when we had so many quarterbacks last year, guys getting reps, when we ran out of running backs, I was the next running back up. I take pride in that. I like to have fun. It's at the end of the day, it's a game. You got to have fun while you're doing it. Being able to go out there and have fun while I'm doing it in those drills, while I'm still helping, our quarterbacks out, our younger guys out. It's a win-win situation for me. And I like to be a little athletic here and there. Doing drills like that helps me show off my athleticism and lets me, play football, I guess you could say, and stuff like that. And everybody gets a laugh out of it. everybody's relaxed, a lot more comfortable. Even coaches, players, young guys who aren't really sure how they should handle practice yet, aren't really sure how they should go about it. When they see me, out there and relaxed, I feel like it kind of helps them relax as well.
Eli, you mentioned that you had opportunities for leadership at a young age. Are you comfortable in that role, being honest with guys, like telling them how it is?
Oh yeah, guys will tell you that I'm very honest with them. And I've told them I've had guys, tell me like, hey, I need you to be on me this year. And I told them, I was like, I'm gonna be honest on you, but you're not gonna like me sometimes. I got to be honest with you. I got to tell you what you're doing wrong. You might throw a punch at me. We might tussle, but if that's what you want me to do, you're gonna hear what you don't want to like sometimes. So I just. Being honest, I feel like it's the most important thing. The way you go about it can, impact a guy a certain way. If you're, being a prick about it, I guess you could say, they're not going to respond to that very well. But if you go take them to the side, talk to them, talk through with them, explain to them what you're expecting them to do, what they need to see, what you're seeing, stuff like that. But if you do that a couple times and they don't respond to that, then I guess you got to go to the, yelling at them, coaching them up, being hard on them. It just depends on the certain guy. He responds a certain way. Sometimes a guy needs to, get kicked in the butt a couple times, but also a guy just needs to be taken off to the side and somebody just needs to sit down and explain it to him.
How beneficial is it to have some of your main targets back, like being Desmond, Kenny, Bobby, put them on the line?
Oh, it's huge. Especially after my first year of playing ball, having those same guys that are out there with me, is a game changer. We didn't really lose that many starters on offense from last year's team, so it feels like it's the same offense going out there. So I'm really, happy that those guys are back. Excited for the timing, the glue of this offense that we have. It's the second year in this offense with everybody, so everybody's really comfortable with what we're doing right now, and I feel like this offense is going to do a lot of great things, and I feel like it's going to be better from last year.
There's a lot of new faces in the receiver room. Who are some of those guys that are starting to stand out to you?
Everybody, all these new guys are exactly what we needed. They're doing great. We got Blue, Andy, Deuce, the young guys, Bryce, Sap, TK, my guys. The young guys are doing great. They're taken well from the older guys. Those older guys are really bringing them along, showing them the way of, hey, this isn't high school football anymore. You're in college ball now. There's a certain way we do things. And the guys, Blue, Andy, and Deuce, those were the right guys that we needed to come over, and really push this receiver room. I think this year, we have a lot of depth at receiver position, which is something I didn't feel like we had last year. So I feel like no matter who's in the game with me right now or within me in practice, we're not going to skip a beat. Everybody's on the same page. There's not going to be any dips or anything like that. Those guys, they want it. They're pushing each other, and they understand that, the next guy coming in, he can play as well. So he's got to do his job. So everybody's going full speed and doing the little things right, which is huge.
Does Kate kick you in the butt sometimes?
Yeah, he's definitely got to kick me in the butt a couple times here and there. But most of the times we're off to the side, having conversations. I'm telling him what I see. He tells me what he sees, and we're talking football. That's a big step that we took. He told me recently that last year, he had to kick me in the butt a couple more times because he was getting me ready to be that starter for this team. He wanted me to push me along pretty quick. But now that I am that guy, I'm comfortable in this offense. We're able to have those, quiet, football talks. We're able to, bounce ideas off of each other. I made a joke the other day, we're installing some new stuff. I called a play, and it was right after he got his contract extension, so I told him that I need to get a 3-year contract extension as well. He liked that. So that relationship that I have with Coach Bell now is, it's really, really tight. I respect him a lot. He respects me a lot. It's another guy that I can talk to about other stuff than football. We have a really close relationship now, which I'm really, really grateful for. And now we're able to go out there and make a lot of plays. I'm excited for it.
You mentioned about how you mentioned the Cincinnati game, maybe inconsistency in the Cincinnati game. Didn't start off great, but then finished really strong. You had a few games like that. When you look back at those, are there a lot of those inconsistencies you would just sort of attribute to youth, like inexperience playing the first time? Are you able to see, maybe better now of like how you would approach some of those situations?
Absolutely. Those are my Cincinnati. My first away game in college football, playing in a hostile environment in Cincinnati was a great experience for me. And, the way I was handling adversity in the beginning wasn't the way I needed to, but then I was able to, flip a switch, turn it back on. We were able to go out there in the second half and win the football game. But most of that comes with, it's my first time in that situation. I learned from it, and luckily we were able to get out of there with a win. I just got to look back at all those mistakes that I made, watching film, going over it with Coach Bell. I got to learn from him, and it's definitely going to help me with my game next year, and I'm really excited about it.
I don't even know if you can describe it properly, but from where you guys were at as an offense, even at the early part of last year to where you're at now, how different is that, and what does that allow you guys to do now?
We are light years ahead of where we were, I would say, midway through the season with this offense. These guys are a lot more comfortable. Coach Bell's tweaked some things that's going to benefit us a lot. It makes me more comfortable in the offense, makes these receivers more comfortable with the tempo. We're changing up some tempos. We're doing stuff like that. These guys are able to line up faster because of the way Coach Bell has changed it. It's just everything that we've done recently is just making this offense better and better. I'm really excited about it. These guys and that were here during the season, and these new guys that are here, they're all really excited about this offense. They want to play in this offense. Everybody's playing with the right mindset. Everybody's playing confident and nasty, which I like most of all. Our receivers are playing really physical right now, and that's really going to help us throughout the season.
Anything else?
I don't want to ask any like personal questions, like get to know me a little bit. It's a lot of football questions.
How do you like the city?
City of Pittsburgh's awesome. The weather's a little bipolar, I think. You know, it starts off at 30 degrees in the morning, but right now it's about 60, 70 degrees. I got to take my sweatshirt off, but other than that, it's been awesome. Foods were good. Most of the people are nice, but other than that, I'm loving Pittsburgh.
I know we had a bowl game right around Christmas time. Did you get to celebrate the holidays at all?
Oh yeah, we got to celebrate the holidays while we were in Detroit. You know, with my second family, I like to say, with the football team. That was a lot of fun. Being able to go out there with those guys. Didn't get to play, but spending a lot of time with those guys in a different setting, in a different situation. I mean, we were with each other all day, every day while we were out there, which is a lot of fun. But you know, when I got home, my family they saved Christmas for me. So when we were all together, I got to open my presents and see my dog and everything. That was awesome.
What's in 2025 college football, what's an offseason like for a quarterback who has a breakout year like you had? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say there is such thing as an off season for a college football quarterback. As soon as I got healthy, I was going down to Dallas to train with a quarterback trainer. You know, I'm up here watching film, throwing, stuff like that. But you know, when I do get time off, I definitely spend that back home with my family. I like to hang around with them a lot. You know, I got a little sister. During spring break, I got to go down and watch her dominate in some volleyball games, making the family proud, which was pretty good. Shout out to May May if you watch this. You know, so I'm really happy that I got to be able to do that. But in this day and age, I don't think there really is an off season for us. I mean, even that summer break that I got, you know, that most of the time I'm going to be in Dallas training, you know, making sure I can get better and better every day and make sure I have a better season than I did last year.
Is there an importance, though, to make sure you enjoy the college experience, even with all the time that you're here? And I'm not just saying partying, but just the entire thing. Oh,
yeah. I mean, college football is fun. I mean, the fun that I have is out there on the practice field playing with my guys. You know, I got some roommates now. Shout out Ty and Zach Zollers, those are my guys. Moved in with them. You know, we're having fun. Got a new house in Shadyside, so we're having fun. You know, living the life of college students, as well as, you know, playing college football. I feel like we've done a really good job balancing that, having a lot of fun. You know, all the things we can do in Pittsburgh. And couple weeks ago, took the quarterbacks to Top Golf. We were out there for 2 hours swinging balls. Definitely gonna get into golfing soon. If y'all have any tips for me, I would love that. I've never played a round of golf in my life, but in Top Golf I look pretty good. You can ask the quarterbacks. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun things to do around here. A lot of things to make me feel like a normal college student as well. You know, going to class, taking tests, stuff like that. You know, it's a lot of fun.
You're not ready to take on Sauls?
Oh, come on, man.
All right, you're not ready to take on Sauls then?
No, our Ben Sauls is elite at golf, so maybe I'll get there one day.
Since you asked about personal questions, how are your grades?
Oh, grades are good. My mom makes sure of that.
Is she a teacher?
No, she's a nurse anesthetist. So she was really smart, so she makes sure I'm doing my stuff. Oh yeah. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.